The following is a feature presentation of SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network.
Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City. It's been a while since they've had anything to really root for in sports. The last thing they had were the Detroit Red Wings when they were on their playoff streak. But now, there is hope in this city once again, as the Detroit Lions are once again prepared to make a run for the Super Bowl. Even if they've never made it there before, they feel like this might be their year. But if they're going to get there, they got to get through the regular season first. They've already got one win, but now they got to get another one against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Welcome, everybody, to the SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network's Game of the Week. I am your host and commentator, Joe, and, well, last week was quite an exciting week for everybody in the league. Let's start with the Detroit Lions, who had an extremely close game last week against the Rams, who they played in the wild card round of the playoffs, so how fitting. They went from playing their wild card opponent to playing their divisional round opponent in back-to-back weeks. No, next week they do not play the San Francisco 49ers. In fact, no team is actually playing next week. We will be skipping over that, and we will be coming back for week 4. But let's focus back on the Lions. Real good game all around, but nail-biter down to the very last minute for them. And then there's Tampa Bay, who, by all accounts, had a pretty easy game. They pretty thoroughly thrashed the Commanders. The score doesn't look like that, but yeah, they were on all cylinders throughout that game against Washington. And now they're hoping to ride that huge momentum into this game. Both teams at 1-0, and both teams had a bit of an interesting recent history. We're only about 16 years removed from when the Lions went 0-16, the first team to go 0-16 in the Super Bowl era. Of course, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were the first team to have a winless season in the Super Bowl era back in their first season back in 1974. But that's besides the point. Tampa Bay, though, their history has been actually very interesting recently because they were bottom of the barrel, had not won a playoff game in a while, and yet they got lucked into getting Tom Brady during the offseason, during 2020, during a pandemic, won the Super Bowl with him, despite the fact that they did not win the NFC South, got 2 more decent-ish years, one really good and the other, they don't want to talk about that, and then last year they were expected to flop. They were expected to go well into the basement. Then again, everyone in the NFC South was expected to struggle. And yet, they came out and actually won pretty decently, got the NFC South crown. And then, on top of all of that, they also managed to win a playoff game against the Eagles, a team who, yeah, they were on a bit of a cold streak, but they were not expected to lose to the Eagles. And yet, they got into the divisional round. They played the Lions. The Lions, of course, wanted to get to the Super Bowl. Would have been their first trip there. There have been Super Bowls that have been hosted in Detroit, in Ford Field specifically. There was the Super Bowl 40, the Hines Ward Retirement Tour, as I like to call it. But never have the Lions actually gotten to the Super Bowl, much less win a Super Bowl. But will that change this year? Only time will tell. For now, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll get back to you guys down at Ford Field for the start of this game. And here we are, Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. The Buccaneers will call tails, it'll be heads, and the Lions will elect to return. And that's Chase McLaughlin will be kicking off for Tampa Bay. Here we go. We have Craig Reynolds back to return. He'll take it from about the 4-yard line, and he's going to get up to the 24, to the 25, and almost gets to the 30. Let's take a look at the starting offense for the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff got traded here for Matthew Stafford and some exchange of picks about 3 years ago, entering into his 9th year in the league. Right behind him, you got the two-headed beast of running back that is David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Of course, you also got wide receiver options in Amon-Ra St. Brown, arguably Goff's best weapon, and Jameson Williams, who is underappreciated but still contributes quite a bit for the Lions. And of course, Samuel Laporta lining up at tight end. And for the offensive line, you got Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, Kevin Zeitler, Taylor Decker, and Penei Sewell to try and protect Goff. Head coach is Dan Campbell in his 4th year with the Lions, and in his 3rd year at offensive coordinator is Ben Johnson. 1st and 10 for Detroit. Goff going to hand it off to Montgomery. Montgomery, the former Bear, pushing, trying to fight for every yard, only gets 8. Let's look at that starting defense for the Buccaneers. On the line, you got Kalijah Kancey, Vita Vea, and Logan Hall. Yaya Darby, KJ Britt, Levante David, and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka are the linebackers. On the corners, you have Jamel Dean and Zion McCullum. And back at the safety positions, you have Antoine Winfield Jr. and Jordan Whitehead. Todd Bowles, the de facto defensive coordinator. He's been doing this for 6 years in Tampa, got promoted to head coach, but he's also DC here. And Thomas McGaughey will be the special teams coordinator for the Bucs. Second and 2 for the Lions. Goff in shotgun formation, looking and throwing for David Montgomery, and it's picked off! It's picked off by McCullum of the Buccaneers. He's on that corner, and he did some good coverage to try and make sure Montgomery didn't get this. 1st and 10, Rachaad White going to get the handoff, and he's going to get the first down. Let's take a look at that Tampa Bay offense. We mentioned Rachaad White at running back, but we didn't mention the guy who tossed the ball to him, Baker Mayfield, the other former first-round pick. He's in his 7th year. That's 2 years after Goff was the first overall pick for the Rams, but now, and Mayfield was the first overall pick for the Browns. At wide receivers, you've got rookie Jalen McMillan, Mike Evans, who's been great, as has Chris Godwin. At tight end, you have Cade Otton, and you have on the line rookie Graham Barton at center. The guards Ben Bredesen and Cody Mock, and finally Tristan Wirfs and Luke Godke. Todd Bowles, like I mentioned, head coach of the Buccaneers, and Liam Cohen is the offensive coordinator. 1st and 10 for Tampa on the Lions 34. Mayfield looking and gonna throw for Evans. He's wide open. That's a touchdown. Tampa Bay gets on the board first. Impressive set of downs off of the interception that was thrown there by Stafford. Mayfield gets some good work in, and McLaughlin's kick on the way. It's good. It's 7-0. So the Lions hopefully don't repeat that mistake. Brown's going to take this one back from about the 2.5. And he's going to get to about 20. 1st and 10 for Detroit. Shotgun formation for Goff. Looking, running out of time. Throw is for Williams, and Williams along the sideline. He's got some room to run. He's got one man to beat, and he will not beat him. But that is still impressive to get into Tampa Bay territory on one play. 1st and 10, Detroit. Toss for Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs running along the sideline. Gibbs with a block. Gibbs! Is he going to score? No! He's down at the 3. Or they're going to say the 4. So 1st and goal. Toss to Gibbs yet again, and this time he will not be stopped. Touchdown, Detroit! Jahmyr Gibbs with back-to-back impressive runs. And with the kick here from rookie Jake Bates. 2nd year technically, but his 1st year in the NFL. It's good. Bates actually spent last year with the Michigan Panthers in the UFL. Goes right over to a different Michigan team. That's Bucky Irving, the rookie, will be taking the ball back for Tampa Bay. Takes it to about the 14. 1st and 10, Buccaneers. Mayfield in shotgun formation. Gonna try and run forward with it. He gets wrapped up and taken down by Jack Campbell. And let's take a look at that starting defense for the Lions. On the defensive line, you've got Aiden Hutchinson, DJ Reader, and Ella McNeil. Alex Anzalone, Amik Robinson, Jack Campbell, and Marcus Davenport are the linebackers. On the corners, you have Terrier Arnold, the rookie out of Alabama, and Carlton Davis on the other side. And at the safety positions, you have Kirby Joseph and Brian Brandt. Aaron Glenn, in his 4th year at defensive coordinator, came over here with Dan Campbell, as did the special teams coordinator, Dave Phipp. Second and 14 for Tampa. They're going to toss it to White, and White going to run along the sideline. Got one man before he could break through. Gain of about 11. 3rd and 3. Mayfield going to hand it off to White again. This time going to run to the opposite side. He's got the easy first down. This will be started on the Buccaneers 27. White going to take the one and get to about the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Man in motion. Mayfield's running out of time! DJ Reader! The rest of the defense busted through for the 9-yard sack. They knew what the Buccaneers were going to play. And they get to him again! This time it's Alan McNeil to send them back 8 yards. So they're going to punt on what is now a 4th and 27 from the 11-yard line. That is Jake Camarda who's punting, and Craig Reynolds in for the punts because Khalif Raymond was injured last week in a punt return with against the Rams. 1st and 10 on about the 42. Toss to Gibbs. It worked so well last time. And he's only going to get about 4 yards on this one. 2nd and 6. Goff going to toss to Gibbs yet again. Defense was ready for him. So he loses about 5. 3rd and 9. Goff going to hand it off to Gibbs yet again. Does not get too far. Gets about 6, but that's not far enough. So this will be Jack Fox punting for the Lions. And that will be Trey Palmer back to return. He's going to just stay in the end zone. That's a touchback. 1st and 10 Tampa on their own 25. Mayfield in shotgun formation. Going to try and run forward with it. And the defense gets to him. Amik Robertson is the one to take him down. Mayfield dropping back. Looking. The throw for McMillan, incomplete. He was covered. 3rd and 14. Men in motion for Tampa Bay. Mayfield going to hand this one off to Rashad White, and he only gets about 4. So they're going to be forced to punt again. And here's the punt by Camarda. Reynolds back to return. This is a pretty nice punt. He's going to take it from about the 20. And he's going to get to about the 28. 1st and 10 for the Lions. 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Man in motion. Goff going to hand this one off to David Montgomery. Breaks a tackle, but only gets about 3 or 4. And that'll do it for the first quarter. 2nd and 6. Another man in motion. Goff going to hand this one off to David Montgomery yet again. This time he loses a yard. 3rd and 7. Shotgun formation for Goff. He's going to try and run forward with it. And he's going to take it himself. He's got the first down and more as he gets to the 45 of the Lions. So 1st and 10, Detroit, still in their own territory. Goff going to hand this one off to Gibbs yet again. And he gets taken down at about midfield. 2nd and 5. Goff tosses for Gibbs. Gibbs going to run along the near side. Gibbs got the first down and more. He's got 2 men to beat. Not going to beat him. But that's pretty good running from Gibbs. 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line. Goff tosses to Gibbs yet again. Gibbs going to get the first down and get almost into 1st and goal territory for Detroit. So it'll be 1st and 10 on Tampa Bay's 11. Goff going to hand this one off to Montgomery, and he gets wrapped up and taken down for about a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9. Goff tosses to Gibbs. Gibbs going to get wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Loses 4 yards on that one. Goff in shotgun formation. Going to try and run forward. He's sacked by Kalijah Cansey. It looked like he was trying to get a better look on the receivers on the far side in the end zone. So this will be a looks like a 37-yard field goal by Bates, whose kick is good. 10-7 Detroit. And that will be Bucky Irving back to return this kick from about the 6-yard line. And he's going to get taken down to about the 16. First and 10. Mayfield in shotgun formation. Plenty of time. Gonna throw for Godwin. Godwin's got the catch and more. He's gonna get into Detroit territory before he's finally taken down. First and 10, Tampa Bay on the Lions 48. Mayfield in shotgun formation. Defense coming for him. He fumbles the ball. It's picked up by DJ Reader, who's only got Mayfield to beat. He breaks the tackle. It's a scoop and score for the Lions. The defense coming through big time for the silver and blue team from up north. And Bates' extra point just going to make it a 10-point game. Still plenty of time, but wow, defense came through big. Bucky Irving going to take this one from about the 4.5. Going to get up to about the 20, to the 25. Taking down about the 27. First and 10, Tampa. They want to get the last drive out of their mind. Mayfield, plenty of time. Gonna throw for Evans. Incomplete. Evans had to dive for it. Looked like the safety was diving for it as well. Second and 10. Gonna hand it off to Rachaad White. Only gets about 3 yards. Third and 7. Men in motion. Mayfield dropping back. Defense coming through, but he gets it off in time. Nearly picked. There were 3 Lions defenders in the vicinity. That looked like it was for McMillan. So they're forced to punt yet again. Reynolds going to take this one back from about the 17, it looks like. Gonna get about 5. First and 10, Detroit. Man in motion. Goff going to hand this one off. No, play action. He's rolling to his right. Who is he looking for? You know exactly who it is. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's deep into Tampa territory by the time the ball got to him. First and 10, Detroit on the 29. Goff, plenty of time. Throw over the middle for Sam Laporta, the sophomore tight end. Gets to about the 16-yard line. Shotgun formation for Goff on the first and 10. Plenty of time. Running out of time, though. Throws for Laporta. Laporta going to get to the 1-yard line. Looked like he was going to score there. And Lions going to call their first timeout. Man in motion for Detroit. Goff going to hand this one off to Montgomery. And he's got it. Touchdown, Lions. David Montgomery with the 1-yard punch-in. Gonna try and make this a 3-score. Oh, it is a 3-score game, but oh, that extra point nearly deflected, but it's good. Seems like the Lions were about to have flashbacks to last week. Bucky Irving gonna take this from the 7. Gonna get up to the 20 and taken down about the 22 for the 15-yard return. First and 10, Tampa. They got less than 2 minutes to go before halftime. Throw for them over the middle for McMillan. This time he's got it despite the 3 Lions defenders near him. He's got into Lions territory down at about the 37, and that's where Tampa's going to call their first timeout. Men in motion. First and 10. Mayfield going to hand off to White, but the defense was there. 2-yard loss on that one. They're going to call their second timeout with 52 seconds left to go in the half. Mayfield going to try and run with himself. Taken down by Alan McNeil. And that's a loss of 5 on that sack. Third and 17 on the Lions 44. And Mayfield going to get sacked behind the midfield line. DJ Reader yet again comes through. And what could have been points before the half is now going to be a punt. Craig Reynolds going to take this one. Not going to take it out of the end zone. That's a touchback. Oh, we got time for one more play before halftime. Goff going to toss it to Gibbs, and Gibbs going to get taken down behind the line. But we go into halftime. The Detroit Lions with a 17-point lead. All 17 of those points unanswered and came in the second quarter. The Buccaneers will get the ball back first at the start of the half. Well, coming up in Week 4, it's an AFC South divisional rivalry battle as Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars head out west to take on CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. That's coming up for you in 2 weeks. Here, our Week 4 Game of the Week, here on SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network. Tampa Bay will receive the ball to start the half. Bucky Irving going to take this from about the 2.5, maybe 2 3/4. And he's got up to the 20, the 25. He's taken down to about the 26. First and 10. Man in motion while Mayfield's in shotgun formation. They need to fix the mistakes they had near the end of the quarter there. That they just had at the end of the second quarter there. 2nd and 5 after that pass to Mike White. Mayfield dropping back. Going to throw for Cade Otton, but he's out of bounds. Incomplete. 3rd and 5. Mayfield dropping back. Defensive line breaks through, and he gets it thrown away. Cade Otton was the closest man. So a 3 and out, essentially, there. The 3 and out there. And this will be a punt. Craig Reynolds going to take this one from about the 14-yard line, it looks like, and going to get taken down to about the 22. 1st and 10, Detroit. Finally gets their hands on the ball for this half. Hand off to Gibbs, and Gibbs going to not get too far. So it'll be 2nd and 9, Lions. Goff dropping back. Plenty of time. Throws over the middle for Sam Laporta. Laporta's got the first down and more. Laporta's into Tampa Bay territory, and he's going to get taken down at about the 40-yard line of the Buccaneers. Detroit has been... They had a mistake at the start there, but they have been on all cylinders since then. Montgomery going to get taken down at about the 32. Or 33, it actually looks like. 2nd and 4. Shotgun formation for Goff. Defense breaks through, but he gets it off in time for Sam Laporta! Laporta makes the catch and gets to about the 3. Impressive calm under pressure there by Jared Goff. Hand off to Jahmyr Gibbs. It's a touchdown. And the Lions have just been dominating this game after what looked like a very rough start for Detroit with a rare interception thrown by Goff. Bates kick on the way. It's good. 31-7. Lions taking a commanding lead over Tampa Bay. It's funny because the Buccaneers beat the Commanders last week. Irving going to take this one to the 15 and take it down to the 19. 1st and 10. Tampa Bay needs points, and they need them quick, but the defensive line won't let them! DJ Reader gets to him yet again! That's the 3rd sack he's recorded on Mayfield today. Mayfield dropping back. Looking and throwing to his right for Chris Godwin. And he's got the first down easily. 1st and 10. Mayfield dropping back. Gonna run forward now. Defense gets to him. Alan McNeil. I believe that's Allen's 3rd sack this time in his 4th year out of NC State. Toss to Rachaad White. White going to get the first down. And yes, he does get the first down. They're going to say it's clean. 1st and 10 on the 41. Man in motion for Mayfield. Baker throws to his right for Chris Godwin. Godwin wide open, but the defense is zooming up to catch him. But he's down in the red zone. 1st and 10 on about the 18-yard line. Mayfield dropping back. Plenty of time. Plenty of open space. It's a touchdown pass to Chris Godwin. And the Buccaneers, they are not done yet. Baker Mayfield gonna hopefully lead this team. That's what the Buccaneers want. Came on the road, and they're fighting a very tough team. This would be a huge statement for Tampa Bay. Craig Reynolds is going to take this one back from the 7. And he's going to break a tackle and gets taken down at the 22. 1st and 10. Goff, hand off to Montgomery. Montgomery going to get taken down at about the 25. So 2nd and 7. Goff dropping back. Defensive line unable to break through. Gibbs going to get this one on a screen pass, and he is still going. He's still on his feet. He's in the Tampa Bay territory, and he's taken down to about the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Detroit. That offense has been fired up since that interception was thrown. And this throw for Williams this time, he's going to get to the 5-yard line, Jameson Williams did. I told you not to underestimate him, didn't I? And they're going to say 1st and goal on the 6. Toss for Gibbs, and he's going to get taken down behind the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 8. With less than a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Man in motion for Goff. Handoff is to David Montgomery. Montgomery zigging and zagging, but he gets taken down at about the 3. 3rd down. Handoff to Gibbs. It's a touchdown! Detroit's offense. They made one mistake and they were like, okay, we know what we did wrong, and have not missed since then. They've had a Jack Fox punt and then just score after score. And that's going to be Bucky Irving back to take it from the end zone yet again. Put about 3 yards back in his own end zone. And he's going to get to about the 12. He got one more play before the end of the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10, Tampa. And off to Rachaad White. And White going to get the 1st down. He's taken down to about the 24-yard line. It's 38-14. The Buccaneers need a miracle. Mayfield dropping back. Gonna toss for Evans. Evans does it! And he's into Detroit territory. And he's down at about the 36. They need to score on every drive. And they can't be taking too long. Plus the defense has to stop the lines on every drive. They have Amik Robertson, though. He says, you aren't scoring on my watch. Loss of 3 on that one. Mayfield dropping back. Looking. Throwing for Mike Evans with the leaping catch! And Mike Evans has a touchdown today! Amazing work right now. Tampa Bay really needs those points. We had a couple of teams scored at least 20 points in a quarter last week. Tampa Bay was not one of them. And they're going to go for the onside kick attempt here. And it's going to bounce their way! Tampa recovered the onside kick! That's amazing, but that's just the start. They got to keep going. Mayfield throwing to his left for Mike Evans! And Evans in the red zone already. He fumbled the ball! He's fumbled it! And it's bounced into the hands of Carlton Davis! Oh, they were looking so good! Things were finally coming up their way, and oh, that's just a disaster! The 1st and 10, Gibbs gonna get handed the ball, but it's a 5-yard gain. Oh man, Detroit defense would not let this go easily. Samuel Laporta gonna get the pass over the middle, and he is gonna get to about the 41 of the Buccaneers. Oh, that is heartbreaking. They were doing so well. They recovered the onside kick. That's our first onside kick recovery of the season, too. Overthrowing Amon-Ra St. Brown there. 2nd and 10. Man in motion for Detroit. How good has this offense been, really, for Detroit? They've been amazing. They got a good comeback, as Goff's going to take it himself for the 1st down to about the 30. Shotgun formation for Goff. Plenty of time. Going to throw over the middle for Samuel Laporta. And Laporta has broken through. Touchdown, Lions. And that's going to make it 45. You know, assuming Bates' kick does not get blocked this week like it did last. Kick on the way from Bates, and it's good. 45-21 Detroit. And this one might be over now. Oh, I know Mike Evans is probably beating himself up on the sidelines for that one. 1st and 10 for Tampa. Mayfield, the Bucs, just playing for pride at this point. Going to try and run with it. He's going to take it himself. He's got to the 29. 2nd and 2. Man in motion for Mayfield in shotgun formation. Got to get it off in time. Got it for Chris Godwin, who dives for it but can't get it. Incomplete. Man in motion on this 3rd and 2. Mayfield Gotta get it off in time. Throwing for Godwin yet again. This time he's in Detroit territory and more. He's got down to the 28. With now less than 3 minutes to go. 1st and 10 for Tampa. Mayfield gonna try and run with it again. And the defensive line gets to him. It's DJ Reader. 2nd and 12. Mayfield dropping back. All kinds of time. Throws to his right. Incomplete. 3rd and 12. And this one's going to be from the 30-yard line. This offense looked like they had momentum and they lost it in an instant. Momentum can turn on a dime in this league as Jack Campbell gets the 5-yard sack. They have to go for it if they want any chance of at least trying to win. Mayfield going to try and run forward with it himself. He's going to take it himself, but he's not even going to get to where this set of downs started. So it'll be turnover on downs. Detroit's got the ball. 1st and 10. Goff dropping back. All kinds of time. Gonna throw it for Williams to his left. And he is gone. No Buccaneer even on camera there. Touchdown Lions as they're just running up the score there. Jamison Williams gonna make it a 50 now. Thanks to Jared Goff's arm. And Bates' kick on the way. It's blocked! Oh, I warned you about that! I warned you that might happen! Bucky Irving gonna be back to return. At least the Buccaneers have that. And Irving gonna take this to about the 15. If we look at next week's schedule, the next few weeks' schedule for Tampa Bay on this one, as Mayfield going to toss this one incomplete. Buccaneers next few weeks, they have Philly at home, head to Atlanta, head to New Orleans before they take on Baltimore. And Mayfield going to get wrapped up and taken down by Aiden Hutchinson. 3rd and 18. They're going to call their first time out with less than 30 seconds to go. Detroit has Seattle next week, then a bye. They go to Dallas, and then they open up divisional round play against Minnesota. And Chris Godwin gets overthrown in this one, incomplete. Time for one more play. Man, Detroit just has not been stopped, really. Mayfield in his own end zone throws for McMillan. It's picked off! That's not a good way to go out. And that is going to do it. Detroit with the 51-21 absolute dominant victory over the Buccaneers. Shame that this had to happen to Tampa Bay, but, well, they at least did what they could. Lions will go to 2-0 on the season, while Tampa Bay going to drop to 1-1. Like I said, in 2 weeks, we will resume again. Lions will be at home again, this time against Seattle. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay will be at home as well, but they'll be taking on the Eagles. And a reminder that our Week 4 Game of the Week will be an AFC South matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. But don't forget to tune in this weekend for our Week 2 edition of Tecmo Rewind. For all of us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network, I am Joe saying good night, everybody!